Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rob from Sam Baker Studios here, and I've had a request to do a tutorial on podcast audio. So I have a wonderful example here that has been kindly donated to me by the Gaggle Podcast, which is a podcast I've been recording. I've done a few sort of episodes for it. I don't think it's formally released as yet, but I'll leave a description, a link in the description so you can check it out as and when it does happen. Warm welcome to the new subscribers as well, and if you haven't subscribed, now's the time to do it. Let's jump in here, and this is a really good example because I've got four people on four different microphones, and they all sort of have different, obviously have different voices and different sort of styles of speaking. Some, like Jordan, for example, here, he's got a very, and Sam as well, they're both very sort of dynamic, and quite significantly louder than the other guys. And so what I want to try and do here is, balance out some sort of levels amongst them all and together, and make sure also nothing really like peaks while we're sort of doing all this. So what I might do is something that you would usually sort of do at the end of a mix or something, is put that compression and limiting on. I'll probably maybe start with it because it would just prevent us from doing any damage to any loud peaks. There are significant peaks going on here. And so I'm just going to put a compressor on the whole thing, and maybe engage the limiter as well. The usual things here that I've got on. This is from my template that you can download once you subscribe. It's basically just an extract from that. And I just found that that this vintage opto sort of works the best. So I've got that in place. If you just want a quick look at that, and just bring the threshold down until it sort of fits.
Hello, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
And I know we're on a podcast at the moment, but I just want to say that you have got the most wonderful eyeshadow on at the moment.
Yes, right.
I made it extra gay, extra rainbows.
Bitch succeeded as well.
Thank you for doing all your makeup for this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just for you, just for
We
the room.
will take a photo.
Right, so if you just saw me then, I just kind of brought that threshold down till it started kind of reacting. I found that the distortion on the hard setting was the best for this. I can show you an example of that maybe later when they're all sort of laughing, but I went through this a few times and that was definitely probably the best setting. Then I'll probably just start with maybe doing a little bit of EQ and filtering on each of the voices. If you just double click there, you get the channel strip. And put the filter on there at the end, and basically, I don't know, I just think maybe like 80 or something. And it was definitely more noticeable on Sam's, because Sam and Josh are on two microphones that are actually sort of condenser microphones, so they'll have a lot more low end in their voices. So if I just go to Sam's mic here, you'll see the waveform.
And I know we're on a podcast at the moment, but I just want to say that you have got the most wonderful eyeshadow on at the moment.
Yes, right.
So I'm just going to copy that setting in there. And Josh's channel again is going to have that low end.
Hello, I'm good, thanks.
Josh, with a little bit of self-loathing going on. Josh, how are we?
So there you go. You saw that sort of peak up. The others don't really have it. Aren't as obvious.
Yeah.
Let's just go here.
We will take a photo.
So it doesn't really extend right down to the subs there. So maybe just retain more of the low end here on Jordan's, being a dynamic mic.
Take a photo. And we've also got producer Josh with a little bit of self-loathing going on. Josh, how...
As you can see, as you can hear, that's the Amy's microphone. And we can obviously hear everyone else in there. And some people like to sort of, get the marquee tool and cut out all these bits there that aren't being used.
Photo. And we've also got producer Josh with a little bit of self-loathing going on. Josh, how are we?
And, you could cut all that out and whatever. It's very time consuming. You can also do the Waveform Zoom, and you can see what sort of is where the significant waveforms are and stuff. But in this instance, unless it's a real problem, like there's a noise or something fell or someone bumped a microphone, I'll just keep it all in there, because example here. There's, it might not seem like much, but there's a reaction here from Josh.
Yeah. Glad we play this game.
And and that sigh, it's kind of important to the conversation here. So I will just keep it all in there. Like I said, if it's a real problem, if there's a real sort of distracting noise, a real loud mouth pop or something, maybe then you can cut it out. But this stage, let's just do some broad strokes here. And we've put that EQ filter on. Everyone's voice seems pretty clear.
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
We can maybe do some overall EQ if you want.
We're on a podcast at the moment, but I just want to say that you have got the most wonderful eyeshadow.
A bit muddy and boxy around there.
Thank you.
Yes, right.
I made it 8 extra gay, extra rainbows.
Bitch succeeded as well.
Thank you for doing all your makeup for this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just for you.
We will take a photo. And we've also got producer Josh with a little bit of self-loathing going on. Josh, how are we?
Hey, George.
I haven't done too much there. It's just, it looks like a tiny bit, but it's actually, 2 or 3 dB, which is, a fair amount. And what else? I was also going to say that basically you may sort of have also like some intro music or something. So let me just go to a file as an example. This isn't the music for this podcast, but it's just something that I've put together. And just bring in that waveform, just drag it in there. As you can see, it's really loud. If I were to play that, probably, if you got headphones on right now, it'll be quite loud. So we can just bring it down here. We can also use the gain. Click on the region there, gain, and just bring it down like this. Again, we can do the same thing for here on Amy's part or whatever, if it's a little bit loud. Or again, on Josh's tracks here, if we want to sort of bring it up, we just bring it up a little bit as well. So let's just go back to 0, option click. So let's say this is the intro for this podcast. We can have a little bit of music there. Going to hit play. And we might just want to do a fade there at the end. So click on the region here and just do like a fade. Just drag it out like that. Another way is to bring up your toolbox, your tools. I use my escape key to do this, and then we just go fade. We can just fade it out like that.
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
You can have have the same track if you want for the outro, maybe a different part of it, like this. Put it at the end. Do a little fade.
Talk pansexuality!
And obviously do everything to taste. Make sure the timing works.
Get to it. Let's talk pansexuality! Duality!
And I would just recommend also just coming in if you're doing music, just come in on a kick drum or something. I think it's had a little more better impact.
Sexuality! Duality!
And you can have credits and that kind of thing, whatever you'll like to put on there. But anyway, that's kind of some broad strokes, I guess, on how I would treat podcast audio. And again, if you have this particular person in a lot, for example, like Jordan, these three guys are sort of on every week. You can just save their channel strip setting as, and then basically you can just bring up their sort of channel strip for their voice. So another quick thing we can do is maybe some overall limiting and level. We can go, the adaptive limiter within Logic is actually really good. Actually, I'll probably just go to in the menu so you can find it. That was like a recent sort of thing. So it's in Dynamics, adaptive limiter, there it is. And this can really, maybe if you're wearing headphones right now, just be careful, but this can really if you just add like 5 or 6 here.
Affection and touch. So that's exactly what we do to him.
Single.
Yep.
And when it kind of goes into you can see the reduction meter there.
Affection and touch. So that's exactly what we do to him.
Single.
So maybe if you want to just maybe knock off, maybe 2 to 3 dB there, make sure, 2 or 3 kind of comes up there. And, you'll be getting some significant volume, and make sure that your podcast is a good level. There is another level meter I think Logic has in, where is it? Metering, loudness meter.
Affection and touch. So that's exactly what we do to him.
Single.
Yep.
So that also give you some numbers there as well. If you have a specific range that you usually like to work in, or there are specific requirements for some distributors, that can give you the levels and the meters and the numbers that you need to know, and just increase this accordingly. And I just always just allow a little bit, like a minus 0.1 there, just so it doesn't sort of destroy speakers, hurt headphones, that kind of thing. Basically, it doesn't hurt the outputs of any sort of analog devices, that kind of thing. Anyway, if I think of anything else, there might be a part 2, but that's it for now. And I hope that's been helpful. Until next time, have fun podcasting. Cheers.